How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting, and welcome back to Mamiya, and welcome to my life, which is the starting of a whole new hell. I started school, and I gotta tell you, after taking a break, school is... it's weird. It's weird. Like, it's strange getting back. It's strange trying to get used to the whole concept of being back, and then it's just weird. I think the weirdest thing is, like, how many 18-year-old people there are. I've never felt old before. Like, not truly old, but man, it feels kind of like I'm feeling old now. And the scariest thing is, I have like a youthful face. Like, I'm not old. I'm really not. But I have a very youthful face, I think. And so I'm blending in a lot more than I thought I would, which is frankly strange, but also kind of nice, you know? Like, I'm not really being like singled out in any real way. I just feel like I'm just kind of being incorporated into everything, but it is kind of weird to explain to people like, oh no, I don't live on campus. I have a house. It's like, oh, okay. You just have a house. And like, I was overhearing people talking. They were some of my classmates were just discussing how like they were living off of like a couple $100 a month. I was like, I drop a couple $100 a week on fun stuff sometimes. So it's like, no, I actually don't spend that much money. I might spend $100 on myself a month, but still, compared to college, that's a lot. I actually got some cool posters. Hopefully I'm going to be able to putting them up here. I'm trying to figure out if I can hang them up on these or not. I'll have to be creative with it just because these are, like, my little studio is kind of in a curtained off partition. So we'll have to see about that. But I got Fate posters. One from Fate Zero and one from Heaven's Feel. And they look awesome and I'm really happy about them. So, because they were selling posters at the university. I also got a couple like artworks that are going to be like posted around the house, which will be really nice. Like, well, I think I got Starry Night, and I got the Cresting Wave painting by the Japanese artist Hosukai, I think his name was. Yeah, Hosukai. So yeah, just really cool stuff I've been able to get into, and I'm getting into my physics classes and my calculus, and I'm taking Japanese, which is cool. So. Anyway, enough about my ranting and rambling. I feel like I want to talk to you guys about stuff that's going on in my life. You know, that's kind of what I do. And right now, school's just like smashing me in like just kind of, I just forgot how rusty I've gotten. Like I feel like I hadn't been that long since I was in school, but it kind of has been a while. Just got caught up in life and, you know, working and, you know, doing other stuff. So now it's just interesting, but oh well, we'll get into it anyway. So, now we're back to Mamiya and Minato. We're following Minato, who keeps reminding me too much of myself. And he's talking to Mamiya, who, you know, as you can see, is the Are you my mummy from Doctor Who, effectively, which is terrifying. But yeah, so we're going to see what kind of adventures we get down to today. I get the feeling we're already starting to head towards the finale for some reason. Like, it doesn't feel like we have much further to go, but yet, like, a lot's happening, so I don't know if that we'll be able to end this part or not today. We'll have to find out. So let's jump right in. Well, what do you want? And who are you anyway? My name is Mamiya. Yes, you said that before, but you always sort of just appear out of nowhere. I'm here to protect you from your enemies. Are you now? Where are we? At a river. It's close to where I live. You don't look too happy. Don't you like it here? Can't say I'm a huge fan, no. It's dark and gets loud after rain. But I know it very well. Even though you don't like it. I know it because I don't like it. I suppose that's how it works. I see. It makes sense now. You want to know something cool? Huh? I can teach you a very special spell that'll make you enjoy things you hate. That sounds dangerous. Ever so slowly, Mamiya spread his arms in a rather exaggerated fashion, his fingers dancing gracefully in the air. Huh? Filling me with an odd sense of excitement. I wondered what he'd show me. Bee da bee ba bee da boo. It's a magic spell. The river continued to flow. I don't think it worked. That's strange. It should have. Let me try again. I'm gonna try it again. Maybe I'm the one messing it up. Bee-bee-da-ba-bee-doo-bo. How do you feel about the river now? I can't say I like it just yet. What a shame. Looks like your magic doesn't quite work on me. Okay, I think that's enough fooling around. I'm always serious, though. Sure, whatever you say. Boo. Hey, keep that boo to yourself. I gave Mamiya's gas mask a light flick. It made him cover his forehead and fall completely silent. Come on, surely it didn't hurt you that much. You're really blowing this out of proportion. I'm sorry. Stroke it gently. Yeah, no. It's something you don't want to hear people say, especially a child. Stroke it gently. He's like, no. Hey, dude. Hello. You gonna get on? Well, Morichika brought me somewhere other than a gambling parlor for a change. He stopped at a random park and sat down on a nearby bench, just enjoying the dry chill of the wind. The heck you got to that sketchbook for? I have some homework to do for art class, so... Morichika had a quick peek at my work as I desperately tried to keep the lines straight. Hey, don't look. Oh, I see. You're drawing a potato. It's a self-portrait, actually. After a few moments of silence, Morichika burst into laughter. You serious? That's supposed to be a person? What happened to his eyes? You sure that's not a potato? God, I can't even look at this thing. Come on, you're being extremely rude. You know that? Sure, I may not be the best artist around, but I honestly don't think this is even a matter of skill at this point. Sounds like my art. Morichika crouched down, trying desperately to catch his breath. You think you could do better? Huh? I mean, you'd have to look pretty hard to find someone worse than you. Then try drawing something. Here you go. Huh? Man, what a pain. Fine, whatever. Taking my sketchbook and pencil, Morichika started silently scribbling in something on the page. I did my best to telegraph to him that I'd absolutely make fun of his drawing if it turned out to be worse than mine. He waved me away, indicating that I was getting in his way. Here you go. Okay, let's see if you're fit to critique the work of others. Look, I just scribbled something random crap. Don't expect it to be a Mona Lisa or anything. Ha! It's too late for modesty now. I'll make sure to... I stopped mid-sentence as I looked down at the page. See, told you not to expect much. Morichika. What? This is amazing. You can draw more? Can you draw more? Huh? Why'd you never tell me you were this talented? I really don't think it's good enough to brag about. You think so? But still. What? Well, it's just that... Seriously, what's your deal? Sad that he can't be good at it. After that, we played a game where we had to draw all sorts of famous characters from memory. Morichika laughed at every single one of my drawings. I had my fair share of laughs too. His memory didn't seem to be as good as his drawings, and many of his characters ended up missing vital characteristics. It had been a while since I'd laughed this much. Well, good! You actually got something going here. Why'd we come here anyway? You usually take me to some pachinko parlor. I'm just killing time until it opens. I don't want to waste money. Huh? Speaking of which, it's about time. Hop on, Tojo. Oh, okay. God, he just goes with the flow, man. He get kidnapped real easy. Follow me. Hey, I hope you're not taking me somewhere weird. Come on, man. Up and get in. What are we getting in? Morichika opened the door. Oh. It's like a club. And my senses were immediately overwhelmed by loud up-tempo music. Colorful lasers danced all over the place, blinding me like a mole. Is this... Did you just bring me to a club? What, never been to one before? What am I even supposed to do here? Just enjoy yourself, man. Haruki, it's been ages. Out of nowhere, a girl in a skimpy outfit interrupted our conversation and flew into Morichika's arms. Her sinuous motions made me gulp. Morichika, I'd completely lost sight of Morichika in the crowd. How am I supposed to enjoy this? What is this guy? He really is me. Like, every time I've gone to a club, like, sure, it's fun to go with friends and whatnot, but still, every time I've gone, I've always felt horrifically out of place. Like, it's just not my scene. Loud, obnoxious, drunk people, just no. Maybe with friends, but even then, it's only because of them. I've never gone there for any other reason, and frankly, I don't even think I've got the game to make it worth the time anyway. All around me, young men and women were shaking their bodies to the rhythm of the music. I do like dancing, though. I suck at it. I'm so bad, but I love just jamming to some music. However, I felt too overwhelmed to actually join them, and ended up gravitating toward the corner of the room. That's my man. I leaned against the wall. I simply observed the chaotic spectacle around me. Sorry, like I said, I've been working with school and all that stuff. It's made me a little tired. Colorful lights, a catchy, energetic beat, and an entire sea of people just dancing. It felt like I'd wandered into another world. Here you go. I was suddenly addressed by a young girl. Okay. Who on earth is this? She's cute, but holy crap, we are not in the right spot. Hello? Oh, thanks. She was offering me a paper cup. Taken in by her smile, I drew the cup to my lips. Blah! Is this alcohol? Of course it is. I am underage. Me too. I'm 15, but everyone else is doing it, and besides, it tastes nice. The pinkish liquid in the cup had a sweet taste for the most part. It was probably just some kind of soft drink mixed with a splash of alcohol. Well, it does taste pretty good. Hearing me agree, the girl let out a chuckle. She then took a long, hard look at my face. Wow, you're pretty handsome. Huh? You think so? Maybe it was just me, but her eyes looked kind of dewy. Pink and cyan colors illuminated her slender nape. Ah, it's a word. You too. And just like that, the girl below my age ended up having me in the unknown world of adults. Drawing me into the unknown world of adults. Oh boy. Her glossy lips pressed against the edge of her cup. And my heart skipped a beat as I watched the alcohol slowly trickle into her tiny mouth. This has got bad news written all over it, folks. What's your name? Minato. Minato? Wow, even your name sounds cool. Is this your first time here? Yeah. A friend brought me along, but I have no idea what to do in here. Oh, that's easy. You just gotta go with the flow of the rhythm. And occasionally hit up a few strangers for a quick chat. Like you did with me. Well, aren't you having fun? Well, talking to you is pretty fun. You're so cute. Huh? Hey, wanna ditch this place and go somewhere else? Just the two of us? I mean, Minato's got game, I think. More game than I've ever had, so I will know for sure. But my instincts say, like, if you're gonna get picked up this easy, like, I would be nervous that there's, like, something else going on. What's that say about me? That if a girl came up, started flirting with me, I would be suspicious. Like, why are you talking to me? Why are you being so nice? Why are you nice to me? What? The girl pulled me out of the corner. As we made our way through the dancing crowd, I caught a brief glimpse of Morichika kissing that girl from earlier. I was saying before, he's really gullible and he just goes with the flow too much. I'm terrified. As we stepped outside, I allowed my lungs to be filled with the chilly air of the streets. Compared to what it was like inside the club, the difference was night and day. Oh, day and night, sorry. Hey, hold up a sec. Minato? Huh. As the girl kept tugging on my arm, I ended up losing my balance. Before my brain could process what was happening, I felt something warm and heavy pressed down onto me. Dragged into some deserted alleyway, I ended up making out with a 15-year-old girl I didn't even know. The taste of alcoholic drink I had earlier spread across my mouth. Hey. The alcohol had begun to do its job, and I felt my consciousness waver. It wasn't much alcohol, man. A sudden metallic sound jolted me back to reality. What are you doing? You don't want it? I mean, we've just met. I don't even know you. We'll have time for that later. The girl didn't stop. Stop. Time appeared to grind to a halt, and I blacked out. Fetch, how much did you drink? A familiar ceiling. Hands touching me. Unfamiliar emotions. Nausea. The sensation of alien flesh. Stop it. My body twisted and contorted by itself. An indescribable shudder rose from the pits of my stomach, paralyzing me. No. Someone... Minato! I snapped out of it. As I looked up, I saw Mamiya standing on one of the rooftops, peering down at me. Seeing him finally brought me back to my senses. Minato? I'm sorry. I pushed the girl away and ran. I could hear her call out my name, but I didn't stop. I continued running, not caring where I'd ended up. So, the crazy thing here, like, it's not crazy, but it's something that's worth mentioning, is that this is actually a sexual assault. He was not as interested in that. Did he outwardly, overtly say, flat out, no, no, no? No, but Minato's not the kind of person to do that. But he did clearly try to say, no, stop, I don't even know you, tried to put the brakes on, and she just kind of went forward anyway. Now, did anything actual sexual happen? Not likely, no. Not I don't know if I'd classify, well, I don't know. I think the definition of rape doesn't have to be a kind of penetration or naked interaction. It depends on how far she went, but if she was groping him in ways that he was uncomfortable with, then that constitutes it, if I remember correctly. And these are the kinds of things that especially in America, I'm not sure about other places, but I think it's fairly similar. Guys who are put through something like this are frequently unlikely to report it because it just seems like something that isn't reportable, or people who talk to them will probably be like, man, I'm so jealous, why did that happen to you, wish it could have been me. And that kind of can dampen the severity of this. But if someone says no, it's no. It's that should be a rule both ways, both sides, and it happens. I think it is more likely that guys force themselves on girls, but you can't say that it just doesn't happen the other way. And Minato, I think, is a victim here. Whether or not he ends up feeling traumatized from this, he's a victim. She was very, very much too forward and wasn't listening to him. Now, it wasn't likely as bad as it could have been, but he obviously was having panic moments, and he was obviously so intoxicated. That's the other thing too, is if you are falling unconscious and if you're so out of it that you can't stand upright or can barely take care of yourself, you can't give consent either. And just because it's not going all the way doesn't mean that it's still not an assault of some kind. So it just... I know I'm probably preaching to the choir at this point, but just really, really make sure you keep this in mind, because I don't care how old you are. I don't care what situations you're in. If people are saying no, or they're incapable of making sound decisions, these types of things should never be engaged in. And the problem that can happen is when two people become inebriated some way, from drugs or alcohol. Both of them can't be making clear decisions, and that's when you need friends that can kind of back you up. That's when being when you're around and you can see that somebody might be in potential trouble, it's worth being the person who can step up. If you're worst case scenario, you're an annoyance that gets dismissed. Best case scenario, you might be saving somebody from a really terrible, scarring event or a highly regrettable event. So anyway, I don't know. Just my TED Talk for today is this is an example of sexual assault. It's just reverse of what we typically expect, but it's still just as valid. It wasn't her fault. None of this was. No, it was her fault. She should have stopped. Ugh. Having run out of breath, I stopped at some random park and fixed my clothes. I was still shaking, and my entire body was drenched in sweat. Minato? Minato. Mamiya? Are you okay? Yeah. I mustered up a nod, but was still too shaken to ball my hands into fists. I'm all right, but I've probably hurt her pride. She was so cute, though, and totally my type, too. And yet I feel like such a loser. See, that's the problem. You don't need to feel like a loser. You don't feel ready. That means you're not ready. You should not have to feel pressured to do certain things or behave certain ways. Just because other people jump at the chance doesn't mean it matters. I've known so many people who went entirely through high school without any like really solid, meaningful relationships. Not because they didn't want them, but not because they couldn't get them, but because they just weren't interested. And that's okay. It's all right to not be interested in that kind of stuff. And especially because we have a better understanding of the fact that there are spectrums of asexuality. That alone should be enough of a statement. Like, I think Minato would classify in that regard, at least at this point in his life. It's okay to be disinterested even for a time. You shouldn't feel like you're a loser or feel like you like aren't like enough of a man or enough of a woman because you're not interested in just rolling in the hay with whoever like throws themselves at you. It's a lot of really interesting ideas being covered here. After that, Mamiya helped me get back home. My head was throbbing. Felt like someone had just punched me in the face. It was probably the alcohol. Oh, the memo had changed. My parents had seemingly come home, but then left again before I arrived. Inside, I found a couple packs of instant food on the table. My parents most likely left them so I'd have something to eat for dinner. I felt entirely too tired to even consider eating. Instead, I headed straight to bed. Before I could reach my room, though, my phone rang. Feeling suspicious, I walked over and gave the display a glance. It was Morichika. Hello? How'd it go? How did what go? I saw you leave the club with that girl. Sorry. I'm done with that. Sounds like you got turned down. Well, don't let it get to you. You have to be like me to get lucky on your first try. It all boils down to experience. Don't take it too hard, kid. That's not what happened, though. Instead, I was simply reminded of my own critical shortcomings. That was all. What's wrong? I gotta go. I need to go to bed. Huh. Hey, wait. I hung up without letting him finish. Feeling thoroughly drained, I collapsed onto the sofa. And passed out almost instantly. I wonder if Morichika's gonna clue into that. In middle school, we had this girl who'd always wear pants. She had short hair and refined features. At an age when other girls enjoyed displaying their legs, she wouldn't be caught dead showing hers. Then again, she was gorgeous enough for it not to matter. I had the chance to exchange a few words with her when we both joined the same committee. Why do you always wear pants? I don't like skirts. Her tone made it clear. She was annoyed by my question. When it was time to buy uniforms, she figured she'd get pants instead of a skirt. Why? Because they were easier to wear. That was all there was to it, according to her. Her profile, as she listened to the briefing, looked like she could easily belong either a boy or a girl. And yet, the rather conspicuous bulge in her chest were unmistakable evidence of her femininity. The boys never had a choice. Huh? Oh, it's nothing. I'd never seen her since graduating middle school. With her grades, she ended up advancing to some well-known, prestigious school. But from time to time, I couldn't help but think, was she still wearing pants, even to this day? Sounds like my boy is after my own heart. I don't know that. I think maybe she is trans, and that could be totally valid and awesome. But I also think personally, like, I think the tomboyish kind of look and aesthetic is really, really attractive. I've always said that. I think that's very cool. So like, I think Minato and I have very similar taste. Why did it blink like that? My eyes won't open. I need to go to school. Good morning. Hey, Tojo, good morning. Did you know we're going to have a math test later today? Really? I haven't studied at all. What will it even cover? Well, probably. Upon arriving at school, I exchanged all the usual greetings with my classmates. Their upbeat, idle chatter made the melancholy I'd been feeling since last night gradually fade away. Despite how awful I felt when I woke up in the morning, in the end, not skipping school proved to be a wise decision. Thoughts like that continued pressing through my mind as we began testing each other's math knowledge. Good. Hey Tojo, you got some time after this? Yeah, I got no plans for today. Could I come over to your place then? Oh, and I'd like to bring someone along if that's okay. I don't particularly mind, but why? You've got this huge TV back home, right? I want to show you something. Well, okay, I guess. It wasn't like my parents would be coming back home anytime soon. So, what do you want to show me? This. He pulled out a DVD with a naked woman on the front cover. What is with these kids? Oh. I got this from one of my older guys at school. The mosaics are barely even there, so you guys want to take a look? Oh, heck yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about watching stuff like this in a group. Just ignore us, dude. It's your house. Pretend like we don't exist. I agree, man. Regardless of the whole thing, like, I'm not going to watch that with other people. Come on, Tojo, let's watch. Let's do it. Let's spend a lot of time picking this out, you know? Fine. Are you watching it, Tojo? Yeah. Come on, be honest. Don't you get excited when it comes to this kind of stuff, do you? That's not true. I'm just embarrassed to watch it in front of others. Look, there's only us here. You don't have to be shy. Hey, stop it. The two seized my arms and forced me to turn toward the TV. See, now this is also feeling like sexual assault. This is a dark episode, man. Fetch. I'm guessing if this is probably a good place to step out if you're feeling like if you're feeling uncomfortable with this. I don't know how much further this is going to go, but I'm going to go ahead and just say my instincts are telling me this could be pretty dark, so you've been warned. The woman on screen had her mouth wide open while pleasuring herself. Vulgar, watery noises mixed in with the sound of flesh pounding against flesh. Let me go. Oh, are you actually shaking, Tojo? You're getting turned on, aren't you? Come on, join us and watch. God. I tried looking away, but they grabbed me by the chin and forced me to keep my eyes on the screen. The mosaics were certainly pretty small. And that's like the blurring that I think is like necessary in Japan, like legally. Oh. A hole surrounded by folds of soft flesh. Hey, Tojo? He's shaking pretty bad, dude. Tojo? Hey, Tojo! Huh? What am I? Tojo, you okay? Sorry, man, we didn't know you'd react like this. It's okay. If anything, I should be the one apologizing. I didn't mean to puke all over the place. Huh? What is it? Oh, nothing. Anyway, we should probably be on our way. Yeah, sorry about this, Minato. We'll see you tomorrow. Right. See you guys later. He just takes it on the chin, right? Can't exactly blame them for getting all weirded out. That said, how come I didn't get any puke on my clothes? Did those two clean it up? That makes me feel even worse about this. I couldn't help but feel like something was off when I returned to my room. In the end, I paid it no mind and headed to the bathroom to rinse my mouth. Good morning. Oh. What's wrong, everyone? Oh, nothing. Let's go. Right. I had a guess as to why they were acting like this. It was probably because of what happened in my apartment. I wonder if any rumors have started spreading. Probably. I have no idea what they're going to be. Instead of following the others, I silently walked over to my seat. Normally, I'd spend the time before our homeroom chatting with my friends, but I couldn't really do that now. I felt kind of lonely. Well, I suppose I have only myself to thank for that. I figured I'd wait until the situation cooled off a little. I like how he's not even considering that like these friends are like the horrible people because they were like forced him to do something he didn't want to do. Like, even if he doesn't have an aversion to like what he was seeing, I think I'd feel pretty sick if I was being forced to do something like that. Like they were pinning him down and forcing him to watch. That's like Clockwork Orange crap. Like, that's freaking messed up, man. Like, this is something that actually could happen to people. Like, I consider that assault too. I don't think that would be a harder one to prove in court, but like, it'd still definitely be like, there's something like horrifically wrong about that, you know? Soon enough, everything would go back to normal. Even after school, though, people kept giving me suspicious looks. I could have sworn I even heard a few of them snicker after glancing in my direction. It was a little unsettling, to say the least. I'd better go home. I grabbed my backpack and left the classroom. As I stepped out into the corridor, I spotted someone familiar in the distance. Oh, it was you two guys who came into my place the other day. Sitting closely together, they were seemingly sharing a smartphone to look at something. Oh no. They were probably the ones that caused this entire situation. I grew curious as to what they were talking about. Acting like I was simply passing by, I briefly stole a glance at their phone. Huh? I suddenly felt like I'd just been struck by a sledgehammer. Barely able to think straight, I felt myself overcome by dizziness. Huh? Oh, Jojo. What's that? Look, it was the dust. Someone else made it. I bit my lip. The picture on their phone showed a gravure idol, except her head had been digitally exchanged with mine. Yep, that's pretty harassment. What is this? I don't get it. You got your clothes dirty, so we figured we should dress you in something else, and we opened your closet and... Uh-oh. I was on the verge of fainting. And then you told everyone what you saw. They must have given this image. The two silently hung their heads in shame. The others in the corridor must have heard the commotion and tried listening in on the conversation while passing by. Calm down. Stop shaking. Look them in the eye. It's not like I wanted everyone to like me. I'm partly at fault for what happened yesterday. But even still, don't you think this is going a bit too far? If you have something to say it to my face. If not, then at least have common decency not to be so obvious about it. Go ahead, say what's on your mind. So, are you, like, gay? What makes you think that? You puked when you saw a vagina. And you've got women's clothes in your closet. I heaved a long, exaggerated sigh. Making sure they caught that, I looked at them with a troubled smile. I think you've got something mixed up. Those clothes aren't even mine. Huh? Didn't I tell you? I have a female cousin around my age. She has so many clothes, she eventually ran out of space and started filling my closet with her stuff. I mean, come on, let's be real here. I used to have a girlfriend, remember? Haha. Oh. Sorry, Tojo. It's fine. After all the trouble I caused you guys, you even cleaned up my place, so I guess we're even. Huh. I guess I'll delete the picture, tell everyone it was a huge misunderstanding. You freaky buttholes. Seriously? Thanks. Yeah, I feel pretty stupid. I mean, there's no way you'd actually turn out to be a homo, you know? There's nothing wrong with that if that were the case. Is that how you describe me to other people? No, it's more like when I told them you were a cross-dresser, they started saying it meant you were gay, so that's the thing, it doesn't even mean that. There's definitely overlap there, but that doesn't even matter, and plus, we are thankfully living in a time where we've seen that there are people who do cross-dressing. It's not a sexuality thing, it's an expression thing. We kind of just end up jumping on the bandwagon. I mean, who'd want another guy thinking those kind of things about them, you know? I see. Anyway, I'll be off now. Hope you'll treat me to something later. Sure, man. I'm really sorry about all this. My fingers were still trembling. Yeah, they were right. Everyone knows that. Don't start thinking it's actually normal. It's just the kind of world I'm forcing myself to see. I understood all along that it's not like that everywhere elsewhere. I let out a deep breath. That fake picture they created, and that massive pair of breasts under my face. The image had burned itself into my memory and wouldn't go away. Why? It was a disgusting picture. Just remembering it sent a shiver down my spine, and yet, why? I'm back. Well, it's not like there's anyone here to answer. Welcome home. Huh. Welcome home, Minato. Thanks. I'm home, Mamiya. I prepped the instant meal my parents had left here for dinner. The variety show on TV got more and more hated as I continued unenthusiastically poking at my food. The taste was already bland enough, but I couldn't even focus on that. I was simply unable to shake that picture from my mind. What's wrong, Minato? It's nothing. The screen switched to a trans celebrity I'd been seeing on TV a lot. Okay, so it is bringing up transgenderism. They claimed to prefer young men and promptly touched the shoulder of an actor whose only response was an awkward grin. What lay behind that smile of his? What did he really feel? What do you think, Mamiya? About what? About these kinds of people, where you can't tell if they're men or women. Did they look disgusting to the average person? I think their outfit stands out. Oh, right. They stood out because they were different from the rest, and it was only human nature to point and laugh at things we found weird or different. So, you think it's weird? Is it odd for a man to dress like a woman? A young woman next to them stands out just as much. The man on the left looks bland in comparison. That's about it. You put them on the same level as normal men and women. I don't really understand how they're different. Thank you! Mamiya saying something reasonable for once. Actually, that's the thing though. Mamiya says the reasonable things, but it ends up becoming like a shiv in their spine later on because the context is like, it's like wrong. It's like misleading. I opened my mouth, but couldn't find the right words. Instead, I simply hung my head low. I see. I wish everyone thought like you. So that's the thing. It's like, I don't think Minato's trans specifically, maybe. Like, it's implying he might be. And in that case, it would be she. But I don't know. I'm thinking it might just be the idea of dressing, like the cross-dressing part of it, you know? Like, he was captivated by the girl who wore guy clothes. Maybe he just wants to dress up like a girl. I couldn't sleep. Too many things had happened during the day. Let's just forget all about it. I don't want to think about this right now. I closed my eyes and emptied my mind. Time quietly marches on as I continue to lie still in the dark. And before long, I ended up drifting off to sleep. Good morning, All eyes in the room were instantly glued to me the moment I walked in. Huh? Puzzled, I headed for my desk. The photos I found glued to it made the very blood freeze in my veins. One picture showed me in a skimpy swimsuit. Another one had me pushing up my breasts in a sensual manner. There were even a photo with me spreading my legs wide apart. Huh. I have to get rid of them quickly. I tried tearing them off, but my hands were shaking too much. Adding insult to injury, when I attempted to peel away the transparent tape, it tore before I could reach the picture. The class went on uninterrupted, with all the other students remaining thoroughly indifferent to my desperate struggles. Then again, even if I did manage to get rid of the photos, there was no way I could actually pay attention to the teacher, not after this. That seems horrifically harsh. Like, I know kids can be mean, and I know high school can be brutal, but like, holy crap. Like, could this kind of stuff actually happen? Like, I never saw anything this bad. Like, I'd seen bullying. I had been on the end of bullying before, though not much, thankfully. But never something like this. Dang. Could you imagine, though? The very thought of having to sit in one place for a whole hour without saying anything felt like borderline torture. Even in this very moment, there were people texting mean things about me. Others no doubt snickered as they watched me panic. They had completely rejected everything that made me who I was. Huh. I wasn't just imagining things. He's just weeping at this point. Even now, they... Please stop it already. I'm not like the others. Look, I'm sorry. It's my fault, so please. Please stop. It was all a dream. I could feel my heart jackhammering in my chest. Fattening beads of sweat trickled down my forehead. It's still 3 in the morning. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't be awake at a time like this. But if I fell back asleep now, I might end up having that dream again. Oh, I hate that. I actually have had bad dreams before, where every time I fall back asleep, it just continues. Even though it was December, I could hear the rain pattering against the windows. I felt almost like someone was telling me I had nowhere to run. I checked my phone for the first time since that incident. I'd missed a whole bunch of calls from Morichika. My eyes began to tear up. I wanted to see him. But even if I did that now... God, I'm so pathetic. The possibility of getting even more hurt than I've already been, it terrifies me to my core. While the rest of the world was fast asleep, I sat there in darkness, clutching my phone. Tojo. Oh. Good morning. Come on, what's wrong? You look bummed out. Good morning. Ouch. Dang, your punches hurt like heck. Would it kill you to hold back a bit? He seemed to have straightened things out with the others. After exchanging all the usual greetings with my classmates, I managed to continue my school life like nothing had happened. Oh, well, that's a relief. Hey, Tojo, take a look at this. What is it? His smartphone was showing that trans celebrity I saw on TV the other day. The people on screen seemed to be in the middle of a heated discussion. My heart skipped a beat. Did my conversation with Mamiya somehow leak to the public? Why are you showing me this? We're seeing more and more of these kinds of people lately. I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. Hey, Tojo. You agree with us, don't you? In that moment, everyone's eyes were fixed on me. The first thoughts that came to my mind was that they were testing me. Like how people were forced to step on an image of Christ all those years ago. But like, here's the thing. Can't you still be in support of like trans people? And even if you, like, that doesn't mean you're trans. They want clean, undeniable proof that I wasn't one of them. Even now, they continue to judge me. Yeah, I can't say I'm a huge fan either. They're just a bunch of weirdos. You think so too? Man, I knew you would. Ryo hadn't shown up yet. I just wanted to go home. That's something I bet's very true. In the trans community, or even borderline trans community, like, people, like, kind of testing them to be like, hey, like, you think this is weird, right? It's like, because that's the thing, is like, my answer would be like, well, no, like, it's weird. It's only weird in the sense that it's not something I've experienced, but that doesn't make it, like, weird. It just means it's different from me. That's perfectly fine. Probably better. The more people are different from me, the more I think that's probably best. I left the classroom and hurried to the I left the classroom and in a hurry as soon as class was over and headed to the bathroom. I wanted to be alone. Didn't matter where. I slipped into the toilet stall and waited for my breathing to even out. It wasn't like they said all those things directly to me, but the sheer knowledge that people like that existed and that I was forced to say things I didn't mean tore at my heart like a dagger. I found myself drowning in a whirlpool of pain, sadness, and frustration. It's okay. I'm fine. I've got to keep this up. I can't allow myself to cry. I mean, I'm a man. I opened the stall door once I'd finally managed to calm down. Finding no one in the room, I heaved a sigh of genuine relief. I ran cold water over my hands, which helped further soothe my nerves. I had always believed I was jinxed. Even now, I clung desperately to that idea. That's very loud. I looked into the mirror, meeting the eyes of my own reflection. The ragged, exhausted face that looked back at me seemed almost like a complete stranger. Turning off the tap, I let out a self-deriding chuckle. But just as I was about to leave, you still haven't given up yet. I turned around, but I saw no one else in the room with me. My forehead moistened with sweat as a familiar laugh rang out all around me. I attempted to flee, but... What happened? Oh, fetch. What is this? Is that him? It looks like it's like him. Hello there, Minato. All of a sudden, my reflection leaned out of the mirror with a twisted smile. Huh? What? Why am I... You? Well, that's uncalled for. It's the other way around, Minato. You look like me. The strange being addressed me in a tone that sounded both masculine and feminine. Their voice filled my ears. Huh? You're putting yourself in a half position, as usual. Huh? Even after all that's happened? Huh? I felt like I was drowning in some strange membrane. I was scared. No matter how much I tried to scream and cry, the waves drowned everything out. I was scared, terrified beyond words. You're a man. Stop it. Minato. Rio? You okay? What do you mean? You were lying on the floor. Oh, I'm fine. Maybe a little anemic, that's all. I've been living on convenience store food for the past few days, so it's possible I'm just short on nutrients. Minato. How's Midori doing? Anyway, has she grown any? She did, a little bit. That's great! They said girls grow up fast, so don't come crying to me when she suddenly brings home a boyfriend. Come on, don't give me that face. Anyway, I gotta go now. See you. Minato, hold up. Rio. I think that's where we're going to stop for today. Well, this has been entirely terrifying and really full of a lot. Like, whether he's trans or not, which I'm starting to lean more on the trans idea. Like, I think he might be. Like, it's seeming more and more so. But man, I can't imagine going through something like that. And I believe that it's a decent approximation. Like, it might be dramatized, but I'm guessing they're piling in, like, the stress and, like, kind of, like, disassociative, like, interactions with people that happen normally across, like, several years into, like, a short few weeks for us to appreciate. But I'm guessing that this isn't too far off the mark. If anyone in their community is trans, would you be able to comment on this? Obviously, though, like, only if you're comfortable doing so, but I mean, how parallel is this to your experiences, if you're willing to share? Because that's something I don't have experience with, although I do have a brother-in-law who is trans, and I've been trying my best to give him the support he needs, but there's only so much I can do. It's, you know, it's just one of those things, but I'm glad that we're finally starting to understand that this is not just like a fad or some kind of like weird thing, that like it's normal, that it's something that people contended with throughout all time, and yet like we're finally starting to acknowledge it. I think it's really good, really healthy that we are, and I think we need to be much better at it than we are currently, but at least we're starting to go in the right direction, right? So thank you. I guess that's my bit on that. It's like, please be mindful of others and the hurt your comments, even passive comments, can be, and try and be supportive for people who are struggling, and especially against bullying. Like, how much would Minato have like been if someone had come helped him clean off, like help him like understand that what was being passed around, or at least discouraged it? What about people who were willing in that conversation when they're saying like, aren't trans people weird, like to be able to stand up and be like, no, like they're only as weird as we are. It's just maybe it's a little more atypical, but aren't we all? Like, All it takes is somebody being willing to show that support. And like when people don't feel alone, it can help mitigate some of the damage that these situations can cause. So I invite you to think about that if you haven't already. But thank you so much for joining me today for today's heavier episode. I'm guessing that the finale will be heavier still, but we'll have to see how that all plays out. Thank you to the patrons who helped select this content for the channel and for who are continuing to support us. You guys are awesome. You're all stars. You're my Valkyries. Thank you so much. I'm hoping to do a patron cast here very soon as we're getting close to the end of the month. So hopefully I'll be able to squeeze that in somewhere into my schedule. It's going to be harder to keep those going, but even if they end up being really short, I'm going to make sure to get them done. So thank you so much for your support. If you are supporting the channel by just watching and subscribing and liking, thank you so much. Like every little bit helps. I appreciate it all. If you're ever curious about the patron cast, like being a patron, you get access to that, to any perks that I offer on Patreon, like by making one donation, like you'll be able to get access to everything even in the future. So if you ever consider doing that, just let me know. But don't feel like you need to. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it. I can't wait to share this with you next week and to see you all in the next week of school. Hooray! Hopefully I survive. But until the next video, watch me. I'll see me next. I'll see you there.